While the Marvel Universe is filled with legendary relationships, Storm and Black Panther certainly take the prize for having one roller coaster of a romance. Their love story was nothing short of mesmerizing, but over the years, their connection turned sour. Fans were disheartened when the two went their separate ways. Still, at their peak, they were relationship goals, always standing by each other's side. Today, we'll be diving deep into their dynamic relationship. Before we get started, a small request. If you enjoy our content, please support the channel by subscribing. Every like, every comment, every new subscriber helps us keep bringing you insights you won't get anywhere else. Thank you. And now, let's begin. How did Ororo meet T'Challa? While T'Challa ruled Wakanda, Ororo Munroe, better known as Storm, was the queen of the X-Men universe with her extraordinary mutant powers. Despite their very different upbringings, they actually met as children. In the 1972 Marvel Team Up comic, in a story titled Cry for Vengeance, we see a young Storm wandering the streets of Cairo, fending for herself after losing her parents. Around age 12, she began having strange visions and left Cairo to journey across Africa. That's when she crossed paths with T'Challa, who was also on a journey of his own. It wasn't love at first sight. In fact, their first meeting was far from romantic. T'Challa was under attack by a mercenary named Andreas de Ruyter, who tried to kidnap him and use him as a pawn for political gain. Storm intervened, rescuing the young prince from the mercenaries. From that moment, the two realized they made a great team. As they journeyed together, their chemistry became undeniable. This part of their story was further explored in the 2006 Storm miniseries by Eric Jerome Dickey and David Yardin. Eventually, T'Challa's royal duties began to weigh heavily on him. He became obsessed with avenging his father's death, and that obsession led him to part ways with Storm. She had no choice but to continue her journey alone. T'Challa would go on to assume the mantle of Black Panther and become king of Wakanda, while Storm built a life of her own. Her ability to manipulate the weather earned her the title of Goddess, and she rose to become one of the most important members of the X-Men. Though they followed different paths, neither of them could forget the other. Eventually, fate brought them back together, once again facing off against de Ruyter. Their chemistry was still undeniable, but it seemed too late to act on their feelings. That's when T'Challa's mother, Queen Ramonda, stepped in to play matchmaker. In the Black Panther comics, 2005, Ramonda sent her son on a mission to find a queen. Naturally, his heart led him back to Storm. But this reunion wasn't easy. Storm was hesitant, still hurt that he'd once abandoned her for duty. Over time, her resentment softened. When T'Challa got down on one knee and proposed, she didn't say yes right away. But eventually, in the next issue, she accepted. The tragic married life of Ororo and T'Challa. Their proposal took place in the Black Panther Bride of the Panther storyline by Reginald Hudlin and Scott Eaton. Marvel marketed their wedding as the wedding of the century, and they weren't wrong. Their union brought together different corners of the Marvel Universe: X-Men, Avengers, the Fantastic Four, even the Inhumans. The event was so monumental that the ongoing Civil War comic arc paused, just so superheroes could attend. Yes, Captain America and Iron Man called a truce for the wedding. Even enemies like M'Baku attended, and ancient cosmic beings like the Watcher bore witness. Storm became the first mutant queen, a title that impressed even Professor X, who called her the most important mutant in the world. Her dual role as a Wakandan queen and mutant diplomat cemented her reputation as a leader with grace and power. After the wedding, the royal couple went on a diplomatic tour, visiting places like Atlantis and Latveria. They even temporarily filled in for Reed and Sue Richards in the Fantastic Four, facing cosmic threats and traveling the multiverse. But after 6 years of marriage, cracks began to show. What led to Storm and T'Challa's divorce? During the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline, written by Brian Michael Bendis, Adam Kubert, and others, several mutants were possessed by the destructive Phoenix Force. Cyclops, Namor, Magik, Colossus, and Emma Frost all fell under its influence, leading them to commit acts they wouldn't have otherwise. Namor, in a fit of Phoenix-fueled rage, flooded Wakanda, causing unimaginable destruction. Though Storm didn't support Namor's actions, her affiliation with the X-Men made things complicated. Wakanda branded the X-Men enemies. T'Challa saw her as partially responsible. Storm couldn't bring herself to sever ties with the X-Men, though she offered to help rebuild Wakanda. But her loyalty to the mutant cause clashed with T'Challa's loyalty to his nation. In the end, he chose Wakanda over their marriage. Despite the heartbreak, the two remained on good terms. Storm did, in time, help rebuild Wakanda, but their romantic relationship was over. Did Storm and Black Panther ever have a child? In the main Marvel continuity, Earth 66, Storm and T'Challa never had a child. But in an alternate universe, Earth 555326, they did. In Avengers, we meet Azari T'Challa, their son. He inherited both his parents' powers, his father's speed, strength, and agility, and his mother's ability to control electricity. He eventually took up the Black Panther mantle during Ultron's rise. Perfect pair or mismatched heroes? While many fans loved Storm and T'Challa together, others felt their romance lacked buildup and natural chemistry. Some believed the relationship was created to boost comic sales. Still, Marvel made several attempts to reunite them. Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther run included tender moments between the two, but ultimately, storylines like X of Swords in 2020 drove them further apart. In that arc, Storm stole the Skybreaker sword from Wakanda to enter a mutant tournament. Though she returned the sword, the damage was done. She was no longer welcome in Wakanda. Their bond, once strong, seemed broken beyond repair. To wrap things up, yes, Storm and T'Challa's romance was messy, but it was also beautiful, powerful, and filled with unforgettable moments. Even though they didn't get their happily ever after, they created a legacy that fans still cherish. We hope this video gave you new insight into their legendary connection and everything they meant to each other. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in our next video.